Hey everyone, and welcome to the Paddle Talk Podcast. Great to have you along. Got an excellent episode for you tonight. We are talking all things Dome Valley Raceway, specifically talking about the 2026 or 2026 for those of you scoring at home. East meets West shootout coming up in March. Johnny, I believe our actual dates are March 12 through 15. Is that what we're going with?
That is correct.
All right. Excellent. So looking forward to that. And this episode, just like every episode, is brought to you by our friends at Racing in the Dirt. Racing in the Dirt, coming out of Cleveland, Wisconsin, with over 40 years of experience in dirt, sand, and mud racing, ready to help you take your race program to the next level. They have parts, equipment, apparel for all things dirt, sand, and mud related. Has one mission to help their customers do their very best. So if your program is looking for that edge, get a hold of them today. From wheels, tires, brakes, rear end housings, roller chassis, turnkey chassis, race cars, I should say. They can do it all. They even do on site welding and fabrication where needed. So if you're at a race and they're at a race, you need some help, that's a great place to start. So get a hold of them today. It's area code 920-693-2000. That's area code 920-693-2000. Or you can find them on Facebook, or even find them the old-fashioned way on the web at racinginthedirt.com. That's Racing in the Dirt.
And what better way than to test one of those chassis at one of Michigan's premier sand drag strips out in Mears, Michigan? We're talking about Silverback Off-Road Speedway. This is a multi-purpose facility with sand drags, hill climbs, and short course racing, which they're going to be expanding for the 2026 season. So if you guys are interested in checking them out, you can visit them on silverbackspeedway.com, or you can go and visit them on Facebook. They are located at 7186 West Deer Road in Mears, Michigan. If you have any questions about the facility or the race program, give them a call at area code 231-629-6379. That's 231-629-6379. Silverback Off-Road Speedway.
And if you're coming up for a weekend for a race, great time to take yourself out on the Silver Lake sand dunes. And what better way to do that than contacting our friends over at Silverback Off-Road Rentals? That's right. Silverback Off-Road Rentals allows you to take one of their vehicles out on the dunes. So if you don't want to take your daily driver, this is a great way to do that. Whether you're looking to do a sunset cruise, go for an all-day adventure, or just out there to make some memories, Silverback Off-Road Rentals has you covered. So get behind the wheel of a premium ORV today with Silverback Off-Road Rentals. Located really close to the entrance to the dunes. They're very convenient, and they've got openings from April all the way to when the dunes close in October. Silverback Off-Road Rentals, your number one place for off-road rentals for the Silver Lake Sand Dunes.
Last but not least, we want to thank 31 Go Live. You guys can check them out on YouTube. That's the number 3 ONE dash life dash go on YouTube. 31 Go Live, where you can visit all their adventures with trucking, some garage talk, working on the race cars and everything with Doug Vinlett and the crew there. They also host their podcast, The Dirt, where they go into a little bit more of the nitty-gritty side of the sport. So go and visit them. They have episodes dropping on The Dirt. So it's all going to be on 31 Go Life on YouTube.
All right. Fantastic. Got all our sponsors in there. Don't forget as well, World Sand Drag News has all kinds of great pictures from great events across country. Check those out. We got some great galleries. Make a great Christmas, birthday, anniversary. No, scratch that. Let's not go anniversary gift, but all those other things, very applicable. We don't want to see anybody getting in trouble just because of us, right? Okay, so that's what's going on. And now here we are talking all things Dome Valley Raceway. Joining us tonight out of the Midwest, John Sorg, also Midwest-based Damian Bowers, our West Coast correspondent Caleb Mings, and Esteban Juarez. Gentlemen, how are we doing tonight?
Thank you, gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be on the podcast again. It's always a pleasure to be on here talking with you guys.
Fantastic, man. All right, Johnny. So you've got some questions. Esteban, we're going to kind of work a little bit and we're going to talk East meets West. So John's got some stuff to get with, and I'm going to lead in with one for those out of towners that are coming because I've had this question actually put to me already. Fuel is going to be available? Yes, no, kind of what's your thought there?
Yeah, we're actually in a really good conversation with the Torco Fuels to be able to have distribution happening at the property. So a lot of these racers that are going to be traveling from afar, they won't have to worry too much. We'll be able to do pre-orders ahead of the event so everyone can feel comfortable knowing that they're going to have exactly what they need at the track.
Fantastic. I love it. All right, Johnny, what do you got?
Well, that was actually my first question, so that was a good one. Second one, people are asking about food vendors. What do we have for food vendors on site?
Oh, I could tell you right now, the last thing anybody needs to worry about is food vendors. We're going to have multiple different options of food out there, and every single one of them is going to be the best of what they do. What I like to do when it comes to scheduling, I never do double booking of what they serve. So we have a variety of different options at the racetrack. So if you're coming for that 4 days, just know you'll have plenty of food to eat at the racetrack.
Very cool. Very cool.
I'm gonna
Now,
get a dirty soda from the Desert Drink Place and El Sloppy Chicken. Definitely gonna get a plate from them. That's first on my list.
Yeah,
that
Caleb,
sounds
yeah, Caleb just
greasy and
named two of
delicious.
the about six vendors we'll have. So there you go.
That sounds really good.
I mean,
So,
that is making it awful tempting to come out there if anyone wants to help pay for a trip again.
will there be ice vendors? There's a lot of beer drinkers on site, and it gets warm that kind of time of year, and we all want to keep our stuff cool. What do you do about ice out there?
Yeah, so for ice, we have a couple of different options. We still are a ways out from that event. We are currently partnering with the local liquor store, which they do provide a lot of ice and drinks. But also, too, at the racetrack, we already have the coolers and the freezers to hold multiple, I believe it's 100 bags of ice. So even before the event, we can easily get a shipment of ice in with our local provider there. So ice isn't going to be another issue at all.
Great. How about water availability for the rigs traveling in? They want to know if they can fill up when they get there.
Oh yeah, no, we have a freshwater station there at the racetrack, so I know a lot of racers coming from those cold temperatures don't like to travel with frozen water in their trailers. So yeah, just go ahead and leave it empty and fill up at the racetrack.
Excellent, excellent. You guys, you can come in anytime you want.
I got one for you. So I know one thing that a lot of people have been asking about, people that have been to Dome Valley Raceway is that, we're thinking that this is definitely going to be the largest event of the year. I heard that maybe you got a little something extra to help with the parking situation when it comes to the influx of these extra racers. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we're definitely working on a bigger property space for this event. But the thing is, actually, we reorganized the way that we do all of our parking. So one big area I would say that gets taken for our racetrack is going to be the spectator area because we have thousands of spectators that come in each event. So with that being said, we have to leave a very big open space for them. For March, we're going to have two sets of 350 seats, bleachers each. So about what is that, 700 seats. We're going to be able to control a lot of that spectator space and throw a lot of racers in there. We also have a north end of the racetrack that never really gets used that we did the math on the other day. We're actually able to fit 80 rigs in. So we have a lot of space and we're actually not too worried about it, even with the new property that we're hoping to eventually add to the racetrack.
Excellent.
Yeah, that extra property would definitely come in clutch, and yeah, having some bleachers and stuff for the spectators, that's gonna be super cool.
Yeah, because one thing is with the amount of well, we just haven't been able to have speed bleachers in the last few years because we had some wood ones that we just decided to get rid of because at that point the wood was rotting and it was just more of a liability versus being a useful bleacher. So with this, we've just had to compromise a lot of the space for the spectators. So you go to any NHRA track, you're walking about a mile until you get to those bleachers. So we're going to be doing a similar situation for our spectators to start utilizing a lot of that space for racers.
Great. What do we have plans for event t-shirts?
Oh, don't. Yeah, we have plenty of t-shirts that will be available at the facility. I know also too we're going to be hoping to get our buddies from Lone Star out there to be doing some personal prints for the racers because we know that we love to support them. But Don't Valley will definitely have event tees by then. In March, it still should be a little chilly, so we may do a variety of things, like hoodies, long sleeves, t-shirts. Definitely have a variety of things for everyone that's traveling from afar to take home.
Excellent.
I got another one. So obviously we've got a lot of these East Coast people that are going to coming in. I'm sure a lot of them have already been hitting you up. Out of the people that you know are coming, who are you most excited to see that maybe you haven't seen in person yet?
Oh, I gotta say, it's that mean one, and we got Rick E out there with those two big fuel cars or top alcohol cars. Those cars are really exciting. Anytime you see them pop up on social media, you make sure to stop and watch the entire video. And to be honest, it's really hard to point out just anybody because I've been getting phone calls left and right every single day. I've heard of so many racers and so many teams that are coming out. It's really hard to pinpoint on just a single team or a single group. I know we got a lot of racers. I've heard even a couple of guys that from Puerto Rico are really hoping to still try to make it out there. It's a little bit harder, but we definitely got a lot of racers, even from the West Coast, that are building up new cars and getting ready because they know it's going to be a big East versus West challenge, and they want to make sure to stand their ground over here on the West Coast.
I like
Do
it.
you think the West Coast is going to take the wins with this, with a little home, track advantage for the West Coast people, or do you think that maybe these East Coast guys they get to race a lot more than we typically do? So do you think that the extra track time, just being out at races, is going to help them?
Yeah, so we definitely have a lot of test and tune time available on Thursday for anybody that's going to be going out to the event to be able to feel comfortable for eliminations for the remainder of the event. Obviously, being a racer myself on the West Coast, I'm going to lean towards hoping that the West Coast, kind of clears it out. But obviously, we definitely want to have the East Coast come out so that we can have that competitiveness between the two, so that we can actually say that it was a competition between the two sides. And we're definitely already having a lot of conversations towards 27 so that we can take our trip towards the East Coast.
Yeah,
So
that's excellent, man. I can't wait to watch and see, what everybody's bringing there. Um, yeah, Johnny, what else you got?
Well, one of the cool benefits that Esteban and I were talking about that I wanted to get out there is that at Southwest Sanitation will be there to service the RVs and rigs needs. Correct, Esteban?
Yes, yeah, we'll be able to have that situated, so we'll have it scheduled on a certain day to where we can go ahead and have it pinpoint to an hour to where everyone that wants to go ahead and get cleaned up and whatnot. And also too, we do have a sponsor micro hotel, which is about 15 minutes from the racetrack. They also there do have, I'm not too sure exactly what it would be called, but the dump stations for the RVs. So they're
Sure.
free to use there as well too, if it ever came to, because I know a lot of you guys will be traveling back to the East Coast, so you will be passing that hotel.
Great.
Esteban, is there a weekend pass for spectators?
Yeah, so spectators actually can already head to any one of our social media platforms and take a link to thefloat.com and take a look at all of our tickets from there. We do offer day passes, weekend passes, and camping fee passes for spectators. Racers, we do say to hold off. We'll go ahead and get you taken care of at the gates.
I love that people can all do it somewhat remotely like that. I mean, that is fantastic rather than wait until day of, man. Well done.
Yeah.
I like it.
The vote stuff is really clutch for sure, especially if you're coming as a spectator. It just makes it super easy. You don't have to wait in line. It's just show them the QR code and you're done.
Yep. Yep. Damian
Yeah, very
Bowers,
cool.
you seem like you've got something you want to ask.
Just choking.
Just dying on
Choking
the other
on
end.
the
Drinking, it went down the
anticipation.
wrong pipe.
Do we need to call
I've got a
911 or are we
question.
safe?
Yeah, I took a drink and it went down the wrong pipe, so I muted myself there for a minute.
I do have a question, Esteban. So obviously, we haven't really gotten into talking about it. I know we've posted about it. There's a few additional classes that are going to get added to the normal program. This is a points race, though, correct?
Correct. Yes, this is going to be the third race of the 2026 point series. Obviously, for those additional classes, they won't be a part of the point series, but they will be a part of that event. Obviously, with the caliber of event it is that we have so many racers making the trip from afar, we want to be able to just to provide more racing throughout the 4 days.
Yeah, I think that's super cool. And one of my favorite classes that is being brought from the East Coast is that 350 index for the car side of the program. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what people from the West Coast, that's getting, the quicker end of like the Pro One, class, Sport One class. So I'm really looking forward to see what people are in there. And then I know, John, you added in the Quick 8 UTV. And as far as that class goes, for anybody that is a UTV racer that is thinking about wanting to come out to this is literally like if you've got the bigger gun, bring it. This is wheelie bars and no turbo limit. No, you can run nitrous, you can run whatever fuel. It's just you say, hey, it's got to look like a side by side, and that even includes the certain K&T car you said.
Yes, it does. We basically need to look like one, obviously sound like one, and go down the track like one, and you'll make it. It'll be pretty easy to get in there. If anybody questions whether they are in for that class, they're welcome to get a hold of me or Esteban or Caleb and just shoot us a picture and we'll guide your way. But yeah, wheelie bars, anything. I want 136-inch wheelbase and shorter. Run what you brung.
I think that's cool. I mean, it's going to be one of those things where it's like, we do see a lot of these, like the outlaw classes for the side by side only races. So this is essentially that just brought in, with the big show, and qualifying is going to be part of this. So they'll get seated up just like a normal NHRA ladder, and they get to run every single day with the qualifying and eliminations, just with alongside all the top alcohol, top eliminator, pro mod, all that stuff.
Right. So yeah, that ought to be very interesting. Like you said, the 350 is going to be cool. We'll have some 4.0 guys from our side to run the 395, so that's going to be really fun too.
I'm looking forward to it. Do we know if we have any like added bonuses to any of the classes yet, as far as prize money or like double ups or special event, trophies or anything like that? What's in the works?
Yeah, for sure. We definitely have a lot in the works. Obviously, I know a lot of racers are super excited with this, but as a track promoter, I still have 2 events before this. So I'm kind of being careful with how I'm posting information, because the last thing I want is for somebody to show up in January and mad that we don't have the March's payouts for this event. So with the holidays also as well, we're kind of letting everyone enjoy the holidays and spending the Christmas with their family and the New Year's. And then once the New Year's come around in January, we'll start posting a lot more on that. We are open to taking any donations that won't be taken by the track, won't be taken by anybody. It's strictly going 100% into all the classes. So if you're running in Pro 1 ATV and you want to put $500 into that class just to make it exciting, then you're more than willing to. We'll be able to go ahead and advertise your company that you're the one making that payout. I know we are talking to a few different companies, and we're trying to get big checks made up for this event, because even for all the class payouts, we want to make sure that everyone can enjoy taking those pictures in winner circle and really have that memorable moment here at Dome Valley Raceway.
Super cool. I love the big checks.
Yes,
oversized checks for all classes. I like that idea.
Especially the kids.
That's right.
Oh,
absolutely. That's fun.
So
check bigger than the driver.
Oh yeah.
So, Esteban,
John, are you going to try to get into the kids class?
I'll do whatever I have to get one of them big checks. So you guys just look out. It's all me. It's all about me. So can you give us a little bit of breakdown on the classes a little bit for us, so we understand, the Pro 1s, 2s, ATVs, that kind of stuff?
Yeah. So, as in, are you saying like the breakdown between like ETs on each
Sure.
class? Yeah. Here, let me go ahead and pull it up, because last thing I want to do is give you the wrong information. But pretty much, we're gonna be running pretty much just test and tune all day Thursday. We will be running. We're still deciding on how we're going to be running our heads up bigger class program. We want to make it as efficient as possible with the 4 days running. Also, we're going to have, I would say, comfortably 40 or more entries for top eliminator, and then we may have 8 for A fuel. So obviously one class would finish in 2 rounds versus the other one would be running for 2 days. So we're still trying to figure out that end on how we're going to be making sure that we can kind of keep all the finals together, make sure everyone enjoys their time there, and just we don't want to have a team come so far out and then they're done in 2 days, 3 days. We want to make sure that they're running all 4 days. So for our classes, pretty much our breakdown for Pro 1 is going to be 374 and to 310, and then from there it's for Pro 2 you're going to 375 to 425 bracket, and then 426 to a 6-0 bracket for Pro 3. For the ATVs, we only do have 2 ATV Pro classes, so the breakdown is a little bit different. It's 449 and quicker for Pro 1, and then you got 450 to 610 for Pro 2. And for our sport classes, we have Sports 1 and Sports 2. Same for Sports 1 and Sports 2 ATV, and the breakdown there is going to be similar to what I just mentioned. You have 449 and quicker for Sports 1, that's ATV and cars, and then it's going to be 450 and slower for Sports 2, cars and ATVs. For this particular event, we're going to do something a little different. I always give it up to the racers to vote on how we do the tree for our gambler classes, because we do have 2 gamblers per event. This race, we are strictly going to have 1 full tree gambler and 1 pro tree gambler. We're still trying to schedule which day is going to be which. I personally would like to make it harder on the racers and have it the opposite days that they're racing. Sports light have the pro light on there, and this pro light have the sports light then. But we'll figure it out. We don't want to have anybody too upset after traveling for so.
Keeping us on our toes.
Okay, so on that note, around our area, swapping back and forth between the trees is normal.
Very true. Very true. It
Dang,
is
give
normal
those guys
here.
an advantage.
Well, then there you go. Maybe we'll just go ahead and go that. We got to bring a little bit of the East Coast over to the West Coast, right?
Yeah.
There
Well, and
you
then,
go.
like we said earlier, too, you got the 350 index. And then with all the rest of the index classes, we're running a 395 for both the cars and the ATVs. And then a 450 index as well, which I think that's something that we're going to see a lot of East Coast people also participate in. I think that's going to be fun.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely love the index classes. It's not, I would say, as popular of a class here in the West Coast, but it's definitely growing here at Dome Valley Raceway. And hopefully with all these East Coast racers making their way down here in 2026, it'll start becoming a normal class here at Dome Valley Raceway.
So when you run Pro Gambler, what's the break on a Pro Gambler, for instance? What's your bottom line?
That's
Or
the
is
fun
there
part,
one?
John.
Yeah,
or
is
isn't.
that, or is there one? Is
You
it
can.
just
We literally could run a Doug Vinlet run, and he could dial in at a 240, and then you could bring your razor and dial in at a 70, and you have to race each other. That's the fun
okay?
part about
I didn't
the
know if there
gamblers.
was like a 610 break because I heard a 610 on a pro or something. I wasn't
I don't
sure.
think you guys have run that. Have you, Esteban?
No, we've never ran a break. A lot of the I would say it falls down on the racer. A lot of them, if they know they're running 6 or 7s, if they really think they have a chance, which everyone does, but obviously it's on the racer, they'll go out there and throw it out there. A lot of the top eliminator guys like going out there with their tow vehicles and racing. Obviously, it just needs to have a roll cage, but besides that, yeah, no, we've never had a cutoff on it. I know we've seen a side by side make it to the quarterfinals. I wouldn't say semis or the finals quite yet, but definitely there isn't a cutoff that we've had.
Wow. Okay, that's different. Definitely different.
Yeah, for sure.
So-
Different than what we're used to back here.
So that's the West Coast's little advantage on there, because we typically run them as a pro light. So that will be the one leg up that we have on you East Coast guys.
Yeah, that'll be definitely different.
And then
So-
the heads up classes, Esteban, what is going to be run on the heads up side of the program?
Yeah, so for the heads up side of the program, we will be running Pro Mod Unlimited, Top Alcohol, Top Eliminator, A Fuel. The order obviously isn't going to stick exactly with that. I would say we have a lot of the Pro Mod Unlimited guys running in Top Alcohol as well. So with that being said, we'd like to separate the two classes a little bit to give them that time to refuel, cool down a little bit before making that second pass if they decide to go bout with. Top Eliminator definitely is going to be, I would say, the biggest class on property, besides obviously like the gambler classes. We got a lot of racers coming in for that one. Our last event, we had just under 20 just from the West Coast. And with this caliber event, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't be close to 50. So definitely going to be looking at how we'll be running that side of the program, obviously with so many cars, but definitely not too worried about getting them all in and out.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Nice.
I think it's going to be awesome.
Looking forward to it. I think, yeah, that top eliminator class is going to be sick. That is going to be something else.
I guess one more thing that I'll add to this, and I'll get to that for you, Damien. Here we're talking about Doug Van Lett has a semi trailer lined up for anybody that wants to come out from the east side. It's $100 a foot. So if your car is 13 foot long, you're gonna spend $1,300 to have your car shipped out there. So you have until January 12th until he shuts the doors on who wants in and who wants out. So anybody wants
So,
in,
John,
reach out to me, Doug, and we'll get you set up.
so you got two skinny cars that could fit side by side in a box trailer. They
Very
could
good
potentially
point,
take
Caleb.
up. Just saying,
Very good
or for
point.
us ATV guys, like
Well,
you can fit a lot of ATVs in a foot
and you
length
can,
like that.
and just for instance, that's a fact. So if you have an ATV and it's 4 foot wide and you can squeeze it in there sideways, you have wall to wall in that semi to get your ATV in there, and you're looking at $400. So
Wow.
yeah, I mean, certain things like that is shipped quite
Isaac.
quickly. If you got two dragsters side by side, you're only taking up 30 foot with two cars versus 25 foot with a piece.
One car. Yeah.
Yeah, it
That makes
saves
sense.
money. So yes, there
Yeah,
are
and then
ways
you're
to,
splitting the costs on there between two racers. So yeah,
absolutely.
I think hit Doug up. You said January 12th is a deadline?
Yep, January 12th deadline for interest, so he needs to know, that way we can get this stuff lined up. That's our basically 2 months to shipping out. So
Caleb, that's a really good idea. I'm looking more into the rent-a-racer thing where I just show up with my helmet and a fire jacket and throw some money at fuel for somebody and see what we can make work. So,
We got a couple of Mings Racing pit bikes. You can run her in the ATV Gambler.
well, that's Damien's territory. I don't know about that. So,
no, Damien will crash that thing. So anybody out there, Isaac is looking for a ride out west. I can see it.
Like I said, if someone can pay for my trip to get me out there, that'd be great. I obviously can't afford it on my own, but I would love to make it out there. And who knows, if I go out there, someone lends me a helmet and a pit bike, I might just enter.
whoa, wait a minute. If we find a way to secure you funding, I think it's a prerequisite. You have to bring your helmet and get yourself a ride at the track. That's just how it's going to
I
work.
think this goes for all WSN people. If you're not coming with your race vehicle, you need to bring a helmet because you never know.
You just never know.
I think I can work that out.
Esteban, what do you say? We have a WSN specialty bracket. We do it at the end of one of the nights.
No, what's funny? I wouldn't be so inclined if I just didn't acquire two pit bikes myself. So we may just have to have a little pit bike race, but we're gonna have to make a rule for the bigger guys. They can't enter. It has to be someone within the crew.
How about this? WSDM versus the race staff.
Ooh. As long as we're on pit bikes, I'm not racing.
Yeah,
I'm not racing
obviously.
Dom. That's just like not going to happen.
Oh,
We're
yeah,
not
don't worry
letting John
about
on the drag in the
Don't worry
drag
about
strip.
Dom. I
He's
beat
got to
him
be
twice.
on
Beat him twice.
something slower.
Nice. All right. Anything else, gentlemen? I mean, what else do we have? Here's our opportunity. So, not that we're not going to have other ones, but this is very early opportunity to get some questions out of the way. And I think we've provided people with some really good info as far as, if you're from the East Coast, even the Midwest, and you are having problems trying to figure out how to get your car out there, Doug is really doing a nice thing, a great thing of putting a truck together to get out there. Um, you know, yeah, I mean, that's a really inexpensive way. Allows you to possibly drive, but not have to take a trailer or something like that. So that's really big. And yeah, I mean, tons of food and everything else on site. I mean, this is going to be a big race, folks. That's just what it boils down to. There's going to be a lot of people, and I think it's going to be well worth anybody's attendance time. So, gents, we'll open it up. Last questions of the evening.
Anybody shoot it.
I'll go ahead and just throw it out there. If you guys go ahead, anybody that needs some information, go ahead and take a look at the event tag, the event page for Dome Valley Raceway for the East versus West. Under there, we're going to have information regarding the hotel that is nearby the track if you need to get situated with a stay. All you got to do is give them a call and say that you want Dome Valley Raceway pricing, and they'll get you taken care of. We also do have an RV rental provider in Yuma. So if you're looking to haul your toy hauler, if you're wanting not even to stay in a hotel, you'd rather stay at the racetrack, go ahead and give them a call. I know they do have limited numbers of RVs that they're able to take, but this is an opportunity to have them literally take them to the racetrack, set it up for you, have it lifted up and whatnot. You show up and you have a place to stay for the weekend, clean it up a little bit afterwards, and they'll be there to pick it up. You don't have to worry about it. Just another opportunity there, because I know there's a lot more we can't make it versus let's make it. So all you got to do is get past there's the issues. The more time you focus on the issues is the less time that you're focused on what needs to get done in order to get here. So just focus on what needs to get done to get here, and I promise you'll be there in March.
There you go, man. Hey,
Very
I
good.
love it. No excuses for not being able to come out, and tons of availability there in Wellton at Dome Valley Raceway. So, all right. So that is going to wrap up our very early preview of the East Meets West National Challenge for myself, John Sword, Damian Bowers, Caleb Mings, and Mr. Esteban Juarez. Thanks for watching, folks, and we'll catch you on the next one.